Hello BookTube, my name is Kate and this is my channel Chapter Kate. So I'm going to be doing a really quick unhaul video because I have to take my dog to the vet because her ear's infected and I can't see because the sun is too bright and my battery is running low and all those reasons. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible. This is the very first unhaul video I've ever done because I have a really hard time getting rid of books. But I did find a stack of books that I don't want anymore for whatever reason. Some of them are because I have duplicates. Some of them are because I just don't have any interest in them. The first one is Do You Think What I Think You... Wait. The first one is Do You Think What You Think You Think? And it is by Julian Baggini. I'm getting rid of this one because I was really interested in philosophy in high school. And so I bought several like little philosophy books. But I really just don't have any interest in this particular book. I just have to make sure I didn't write in it so that way I can actually give it to the used bookstore, because I'm going to be taking all of these to the used bookstore, and then if they don't get taken or for whatever thing like that, then I'll, you know, donate them or something like that. There's like a little bit of pen in here, but hopefully they'll take it anyway. Then we have Light on Life, The Yoga Journey to Wholeness, Inner Peace, and Ultimate Freedom. This is by BKS Iyengar, and I got this in college. It was in the free box, which every haul had a free box where people would put stuff they didn't really want anymore. And so I got this. However, I'm not really interested in yoga, so I'm going to be getting rid of this because I honestly don't have any interest in it. I've had it for years and I've never even really looked very much into it. I do things with mindfulness with my patients, but I don't really do yoga. Some of the other people that I work with do yoga, but it's not my thing. Please don't get mad at me for this one, but I'm going to be getting rid of my copy of the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. I don't have any Harry Potter books. This is the only one that I own. However, I really want to get a full set of the original hardcover books. And I decided that I don't, this is the original like paperback edition, and I don't want this to be the format that I have them in, so I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of this one so I don't have it sitting around when I don't really want this copy. The next book is Anne Bonny. This was my most disappointing read of 2018. It is supposed to be a novelization of Anne Bonny the Pirate's life. However, it ended up being much more like a Wikipedia article, just written in a novel format. It didn't really add anything to her story, to her history, or anything like that. I'd rather just read a history book if it's going to be this way. Next, I'm going to be getting rid of my teeny Tales of Mystery and Imagination by Edgar Allan Poe. I have this tiny copy of this. The words are just so small I can't read them, and I have a large edition of the same thing. So, and since I got married, my husband has a large edition of the exact same thing, so I'm just going to, you know, keep that and get rid of this one. Okay, actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to keep it. This is why I can't do unhauls. I'm keeping this. Next is Steven Erikson's Forge of Darkness. We already have this in another format that's taller and matches our other copies of it, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of this one. Then I have the Series of Unfortunate Events, The Grim Grotto, and The Carnivorous Carnival. Thrift books sent these to me when I purchased the series. However, these two editions were not in the condition that I ordered them in. They were in a much poorer condition, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. If they'll take them. If they don't take them, I'll donate them somewhere. Then we have John Grisham, The Litigators. I don't really know how I got this book. I'm sure I got it for free or someone gave it to me, but I don't really have any interest in it at the moment anymore. It's like a political thriller or something like that. It's not my type of book. The next two are Sleeping Giants and Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. These are in the Themis files. I actually, you can kind of see them right here. I finally got the hardback editions of these two books, so they match my third edition because they're all really pretty. And I loved the book so much that I wanted to go ahead and get a nicer version of them, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I have a really nice version of The Wizard of Oz now, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. And this, I think, is only the first book, whereas my edition's got the first 5 books. The Merciless by Daniel Vega. Everyone that discussed this book talked about it as Pretty Little Liars meets American Horror Story Coven, and I just started reading it and it was immediately like really high school, and I just couldn't get into that. I couldn't really relate to that. The next two are the first 2 books in the Daughters of Darkness series by L.J. Smith. Again, this is the same thing as The Merciless. It's just very kind of juvenile for my taste, and that's not to say it was written poorly. It's just, it's not meant for my age group anyway. But I just didn't enjoy it. It's a paranormal series, and there's like vampires and werewolves and things, and I can't really do it. I read the first two. I got them because they were pretty, and like the ink matches the cover color, and like the inside's gorgeous, and of course I bought it for the aesthetic, but I didn't really like the book itself, so I'm going to get rid of them. Then we have Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I have another copy of this. I bought a special edition Barnes & Noble. This is the one I pre-ordered, so I'm going to be taking this to the used bookstore. And then the last one on this list is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I have the first three, I don't remember how many are before, what book this is. I have the first 4 in paperback, and then this one was given to me by somebody that was getting rid of them, and I haven't even read up to this point anyway, and I want them all to match, so I'm probably going to get them all in paperback, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. And that is all the books that I'm going to quickly unhaul. I know this has been a very quick video.
1 hour later.
Okay, so here is the issue. I unhauled those books. I took them to the used bookstore, and that was the plan. I was going to take them there, get store credit. So I took them there, and I took them to Second and Charles, which is a sister store to Books A Million, and I really liked that store, and I had an anger about that store, and I couldn't figure out why I had a grudge against that store, but I remember now, and it's because they tricked me into, you know, saying yes to like 3 free subscriptions to a magazine, and then it like auto subscribed and like charged me money, even though I didn't like give them an additional card. It just went on my thing. So I remember why I was mad at them, but I remembered it when I was checking out. So, but before that, I turned in all my books, and they were like, yeah, we can take everything except for this really battered copy of one of the books from, I think it was the Grim Grotto, and the Wizard of Oz book. And I said, okay, so how much? And they said they would give me $8. And that was without the store credit. And with store credit, it was going to be $14. And just the fact that I had Vicious in there and it was brand new, I couldn't do that. But I had already found some books I wanted there. So, here are the books that I got at Second and Charles. The first book is Soon I Will Be Invincible, a novel by Austin Grossman. This book is about like a super genius that turns into a villain, and okay. One of my buzzwords when it comes to picking out books is super genius villains or superheroes or anything like vigilante, anything like that. So I got it. Yes. And it was only like a couple of dollars. It was $7. But I got it. The second book was a book that my husband picked out, and it's called Housewife with a Half-Life by A.B. Wells. And it's because I've been telling him I want to read weird this year. I have to read you the blurb because it's funny. It says, Susan Strong is a suburban housewife who is literally disintegrating. When Fairly Dave, a kilt-sporting spaceman, arrives through the shower head to warn her, she knows things are serious. It sounds ridiculous, and so I have to read it. And then the third book I got at Second and Charles was Go Mutants. It was blurbed by The Onion. And the writer was one of the ex-writers of The Simpsons, so it just looked funny, and I got it because of that. So then after leaving Second and Charles, I took them to another bookstore called Mr. K's Used Books, and it's a smaller bookstore that I like a lot. I really do like it. They always have really good music playing. It's always interesting music. I don't know. So I went there, and they gave me like 21 something for all my books, but they couldn't take either of the Series of Unfortunate Events books. So all of the other ones they took, and it was like 21 something. So I did get some books there because I do always get store credit there because there were a lot of good books there. So I actually had like $1.25 left in store credit that I didn't use that I have for next time. The first is Fool by Christopher Moore. This is about a jester, and it looks really funny. It's very satirical. It said something about bangers and mash hitting the fan, and yeah, I was trying to figure out why I recognized this name, and it's because in my works library there's a book called You Suck by this author as well. Yeah. Then we have Singer of Souls. It has this guy on the front playing guitar and a bunch of monsters around him. So, there are fae in here. It says face to face with the fae folk. I love fae. That's another buzzword for me. Anything with fae, yes, gimme. Okay, so I just read the thingy blurb. He's a guitarist with a history of substance use, but he has since moved on from that. He goes to Edinburgh, and apparently it's really friendly to him as a guitarist. But somehow he starts getting drawn into this fairy war, and it's also not like a very big book, so I'm kind of happy about that. It's only like 200 something pages. So. Next we have Machine Man. It's got a man and then a machine down here. It was $3. So apparently the main character loses his leg, and he sees it as an opportunity to become more machine and incorporate more machine into his body. And then he becomes friends with this prosthetist. He becomes friends with a prosthetist, and she sees him as an opportunity to like make him fully machine. So he's like trying to work towards being more machine than man. Whoa. Then we have a book called In Darkness by Nick Lake, and this is a book about a boy who gets trapped beneath a crumbling building. I think it was a crumbling hospital in Haiti, and he's sort of going in and out of consciousness, and somewhere in between that consciousness and unconsciousness, he somehow connects with this presence from in the past, and it apparently is a former slave turned revolutionary leader in Haiti, and he kind of not only is discovering his past but also the other man's past. So it's actually exposing you to two different Haitis, the present Haiti that the main character lives in, and then also the Haiti that the revolutionary leader lived in. And then the last book is The Rise of the Iron Moon by Stephen Hunt. Honestly, this seemed very space opera-esque. Apparently the main character is someone who was rescued from like this breeding house, and she's an orphan. So the main character was born in this like almost breeding house, and so she's an orphan, and somehow she gets caught up with this guy who killed one of the guards, and then they go on a big space adventure, and they're fighting for their lives and all that good stuff. But those are all the books that I replaced my unhauled books with. I have got to get better about if I unhaul not immediately replacing them, because now I have to rearrange my shelves again. My light's flickering, it's really creepy. But now it's time for a booktuber spotlight. Today's spotlight goes to the happy booktuber. Heather recently just did 6 unhaul videos because she unhauled so many books she had to separate it into several videos. Heather is a very consistent uploader, but she also does a lot of live streams, so if you like more interactive videos, then you can look at those as well. She's always striving to be more and more creative. She's also always striving to better herself, which I think is really cool. She's also always reaching out to people, asking them like how she can do things differently or do things better, and she always tries to be very inclusive with what she does. So if you're looking for a very down-to-earth booktuber who is always open to talk, you should definitely check Heather out from The Happy Booktuber. But that's all for this video. If you would like more of this junk, subscribe below. Bye!
Tripping over shadows and I'm drowning